Hola! So we are back to part 2 of day 2, and we had a very beautiful day in the morning with going into the castle and enjoying the history. And now we are going into another amazing place called Centro, and just wait for it. It's just gonna get better and better. Do you get a glimpse in this video? We're gonna see more. Okay, so this place that you see is called Centro is like the most important part in Mexico City, and you will see that Centro is available in every single state of Mexico. And this is the Mexico flag that we will get into details soon. I'm gonna tell you what it means and a little bit of its history, but right now we are going to find our evening tour boy with a pink umbrella. Since the time we were planning for Mexico City, we were very sure that we want to go for this evening tour, which is like a walking tour that many groups take. So this time we were taken by a group, and this guy called Alexandro, he really explained it so well. So you're gonna see him in many of my clips further. Would you believe if I said that you are standing on a lake on top of which an entire empire called the Aztec Empire was built, which was called Tenochtitlan, and now it is the place that you're seeing right now, where the entire Spanish Empire built an entire city on top of this Aztec Empire. Having said that, now let me tell you how this Mexican flag that we are seeing on the screen and this fact that I just said are interrelated. This Mexican flag, like you notice, has an eagle perching a snake sitting on a cactus. Now, this is what the Aztecs had in mind, right? So these Aztecs believed that when they see an eagle with a snake in its beak sitting on a cactus on top of a lake, which is quite an impossible thing that we are talking right now. Imagine this happens, and that's when they build this entire city called the Tenochtitlan. And that's exactly what happened. The time that they saw this entire scenario, that's when this city started getting built. Now let's talk about the downside of this. Can you believe if I told you Mexico City is sinking every year? Of course, it's sitting on a lake. This lake called the Lake Texcoco, which is made of clay and silt. Now imagine every year it is actually drowning 4 to 8 inches. You can actually see it on this street that I'm showing you, this small part inclination. Apparently, there have been cases where many buildings have already collapsed. And do you see these structures which they are trying to hold, which doesn't make sense at all architecturally or the civil wise? It's not really creating any much of a sense or much of an impact, but still the government apparently is trying to conserve as much as they can. Now, getting back to Aztecs, the amazing people who built an amazing city over the lake. So these Aztecs generally are remembered for their human sacrifices part of it, and sort of always had a negative perception around here, right? So they were known to be quite violent with their sacrifice, with their sabotaging their own indigenous groups, and a lot of facts like that, which I don't want to get into because there's a lot of history. But after the Spanish took control and they almost demolished this entire group of Aztecs, they took control, and that's why you see so much influence in architecture in terms of the European architecture, the European design. Although it's so beautiful to see for us as tourists, apparently the Mexicans have a long history, and it keeps reminding them of the colonization of the Spanish Empire. And yeah, that's about it. And this emperor, who was European, liked everything in his style. That's why you see all the influences of neoclassicism, you see the Art Deco, and then you see a lot of Baroque elements. And I'm going to list out my favorites, and I'm going to let you watch. I almost forgot to show you the actual remains of the Aztec Empire that we saw. So apparently, when they were trying to build a building, and when they started doing the excavation, is when they found that the actual remains are still there. This kind of proves the fact that it actually existed and all the prophecies are true. But there was also this sentimental part of the tour where he went on to talk about the history of Mexico and what went wrong and the kind of war they had with the United States and how it really affected their economy, how it affected their culture, and how they went down completely in terms of the political factors. It was an amazing evening, so watch along as we show you all the beautiful parts of the Centro and the amazing churro we had again. We just can't stop, and we didn't really record the late evening of ours with amazing tacos and a great walk, but it was an enjoyable evening. Stay tuned as we finish our trip of Mexico City with a little bit more of our journey, and then we move on to the next city that I'm going to tell you soon.